Hello, future biologists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the microscopic world of biology. Today, we are diving into the fascinating chapter of diversity in the animal kingdom, focusing specifically on the phylum Nematoda, also known as roundworms. We'll explore common examples like Ascaris and the pinworm. This topic, like all others, will be uncovered in 4 distinct levels: easy, medium, hard, and hardest. Each level will build upon the previous one, enhancing your understanding and challenging your intellect. Get ready to unravel the secrets of these tiny, yet significant, organisms. Ready to discover the basics of roundworms? Let's start with the simple facts about these fascinating creatures. Nematodes, or roundworms, are a diverse group of animals. Imagine a worm, but perfectly round in cross-section and without any visible segments. That's a nematode. They're incredibly widespread, found everywhere from the soil in your garden to the depths of the ocean, and even inside other living organisms as parasites. A key feature is their bilateral symmetry, meaning you can divide them into 2 identical halves. They also have what's called pseudocoelom, which is a false body cavity, and a complete digestive system, meaning they have both a mouth and an anus. This allows for efficient one-way processing of food. Among the many nematodes, Ascaris lumbricoides and Enterobius vermicularis, commonly known as the pinworm, are 2 prominent human parasites. Ascaris, often called the giant intestinal roundworm, can grow quite large and typically resides in the small intestine, consuming digested food. Pinworms, on the other hand, are much smaller, thread-like worms that commonly infect children, primarily inhabiting the large intestine. Both these parasites can cause various health issues, from abdominal discomfort and malnutrition due to Ascaris, to intense anal itching and sleep disturbances caused by pinworms. Preventing their spread relies heavily on good hygiene and sanitation practices. Now, let's test your understanding of these basic concepts. Take a moment to answer these 3 questions. First, what is another common name for nematodes due to their body shape? Second, name 2 key features that distinguish nematodes from simpler worms. And third, give 1 example of a human parasitic roundworm and 1 symptom it causes. Good luck! Alright, let's go a bit deeper into the world of nematodes. We'll explore their characteristics and life cycles in more detail. Nematodes are more complex than you might think. They are triploblastic, meaning their bodies develop from 3 distinct layers of cells during embryonic development. They also show an organ system level of organization, with specialized organs working together. A distinctive feature is their tough outer covering called a cuticle, which protects them and helps maintain their shape. The pseudocoelom, their false body cavity, is crucial. It's a fluid-filled space that acts like an internal skeleton, providing support and aiding their movement. And, interestingly, males and females often look different, a trait known as sexual dimorphism. Let's focus on Ascaris, the giant intestinal roundworm. It lives in the human small intestine. Humans get infected by ingesting microscopic eggs from contaminated soil or food. Once inside, the eggs hatch, and the larvae undertake an incredible journey. They migrate through the bloodstream to the lungs, are then coughed up and swallowed, finally maturing into adult worms back in the intestine. These adults then lay thousands of eggs daily, continuing the cycle. Ascaris infections can lead to abdominal pain, malnutrition, and in severe cases, even block the intestine, impacting a child's growth and overall health. Next, we have the pinworm, Enterobius vermicularis, a very common parasite, especially among children. Pinworms live in the large intestine and appendix. Infection typically occurs when tiny pinworm eggs are ingested, often from contaminated hands, clothing, or surfaces. A unique part of their life cycle is that the female pinworm migrates out of the anus, usually at night, to lay her eggs on the surrounding skin. This activity causes intense anal itching, which is the most characteristic symptom. This itching often leads to scratching, which can then spread the eggs further, leading to reinfection or transmission to others. Now, let's challenge your understanding with 5 medium-level questions. Think about these. First, explain what triploblastic means for nematode development. Second, how does the pseudocoelom function as a hydrostatic skeleton? Third, describe the primary way Ascaris is transmitted. Fourth, what is the most noticeable symptom of a pinworm infection, and when does it typically occur? And finally, mention one key difference in the body plan between nematodes and flatworms. Pause the video, write down your answers, and then we'll move on. Are you ready to dive deeper? In this hard level, we'll analyze the complexities of Nematoda, connect concepts, and explore detailed life cycles. The phylum Nematoda is incredibly distinct. These worms are bilaterally symmetrical and unsegmented, yet they possess a sophisticated organ system level of organization. Their defining feature, the pseudocoelom, is not just a space, but a functional hydrostatic skeleton. This fluid-filled cavity, coupled with their unique longitudinal muscles, allows for their characteristic whip-like movement. Unlike many other worms, they lack circular muscles. Their tough, collagenous cuticle protects them and is shed periodically as they grow, a process called molting, which is crucial for their survival in diverse and often harsh environments. To truly appreciate nematodes, let's compare them to flatworms or platyhelminths. The most significant difference lies in their body cavity. Nematodes have a pseudocoelom, while flatworms are acoelomate, meaning they lack any body cavity. This difference impacts everything from internal organ arrangement to movement. Secondly, nematodes boast a complete digestive system, with a separate mouth and anus for efficient, one-way digestion, whereas flatworms have an incomplete system with a single opening. While nematodes are unsegmented, some flatworms exhibit pseudosegmentation. These fundamental differences highlight nematodes as a more evolutionarily advanced group. Let's trace the detailed journeys of Ascaris and pinworm. After ingesting Ascaris eggs, larvae hatch in the intestine, then embark on a remarkable migration through the bloodstream to the liver, then to the lungs, where they mature, are coughed up, and swallowed, finally settling as adults in the small intestine. This migration can cause lung issues, known as Loeffler's syndrome. For pinworms, ingested eggs hatch in the small intestine, mature in the large intestine, and then the gravid female makes her nocturnal trip to the perineal skin to lay eggs. This causes intense itching, or pruritus ani, which can lead to secondary infections. Understanding these cycles is vital for effective prevention and control. It's time for 7 challenging questions to consolidate your understanding. 1. Explain how the pseudocoelom contributes to both support and movement in nematodes. 2. Compare and contrast the digestive systems of nematodes and platyhelminths. 3. Describe the migratory pathway of Ascaris larvae within the human body after hatching. 4. What is the significance of the female pinworm's nocturnal migration to the perineal region? 5. Identify and explain one specific pathological condition associated with Ascaris infection in the lungs. 6. How does the host acquire a pinworm infection, and what makes it highly transmissible? And finally, discuss the evolutionary advantage of a complete digestive system found in nematodes over the incomplete one in flatworms. Take your time to formulate thorough answers. Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll delve into the competitive depth, explore engineering insights, and unravel the most intricate biological details of Nematoda. Prepare for a deep dive. The pseudocoelom in nematodes isn't just a cavity, it's a major evolutionary innovation. This fluid-filled space provides a hydrostatic skeleton, crucial for locomotion, and facilitates nutrient and waste transport in the absence of a dedicated circulatory system. Their tough, collagenous cuticle is a marvel of biological engineering, acting as a protective suit against harsh environments and host defenses. Its periodic molting allows for growth. The unique arrangement of only longitudinal muscles, coupled with this hydrostatic pressure, enables their characteristic whip-like movement, an efficient adaptation for burrowing and navigating diverse habitats, from soil to host tissues. Let's dissect the intricate anatomy and physiology. The cuticle, far from being a simple covering, is a multilayered structure of collagen, chitin-like substances, and lipids, providing both strength and impermeability. Their musculature is unique. Muscle cells extend processes to the nerve cords, rather than the other way around, a distinct feature in the animal kingdom. The nervous system, centered around a circumpharyngeal nerve ring, includes specialized chemosensory organs like amphids and phasmids, vital for sensing their environment and locating hosts. The H-shaped excretory system is primarily for osmoregulation, maintaining fluid balance. And their reproductive capacity is astounding. Female Ascaris, for instance, can lay hundreds of thousands of eggs daily, ensuring the species' prolific survival through internal fertilization facilitated by male copulatory spicules. Nematodes are masters of host-parasite interaction and immune evasion. Their cuticle acts as a dynamic shield, shading antigens to confuse the host immune system. More profoundly, they secrete a sophisticated arsenal of excretory secretory products, or ESPs. These molecules can actively suppress host inflammation, inhibit immune cell function, and steer the host's immune response towards a Th2 profile, characterized by IgE and eosinophils, which is often less effective at clearing the parasite. This strategic manipulation allows nematodes to establish chronic infections, often with minimal immediate harm to the host, ensuring their long-term survival and nutrient acquisition, a testament to millions of years of coevolutionary adaptation. The global impact of nematodes like Ascaris is immense, affecting billions, particularly in regions with poor sanitation. Control strategies are multifaceted. Mass drug administration, or MDA, involves periodic deworming with anthelmintics. Crucially, improving water, sanitation, and hygiene, known as WASH, is foundational, including access to clean water and proper waste disposal. Anthelmintic drugs like albendazole target key vulnerabilities. Benzimidazoles disrupt microtubule function, starving the worm. Pyrantel pamoate causes spastic paralysis, leading to expulsion. The emergence of drug resistance is a growing concern, driving research into new drug targets and combination therapies. Ultimately, controlling these parasites is vital for public health, impacting nutrition, cognitive development, and economic productivity in affected communities. Now, for your first set of 5 hardest level questions. 1. Discuss the evolutionary advantages conferred by the pseudocoelom in nematodes compared to acoelomate and eucoelomate body plans. 2. Elaborate on the unique features of nematode musculature and its functional implications for locomotion. 3. Describe the composition and functional significance of the nematode cuticle, highlighting its role in host-parasite interactions. 4. Explain how the H-shaped excretory system in nematodes primarily functions for osmoregulation rather than strictly waste excretion. 5. Detail at least 2 specific mechanisms by which parasitic nematodes evade or modulate the host immune response. Take your time, these questions require comprehensive answers. Here are your final 5 hardest level questions. 6. Analyze the epidemiological factors contributing to the high global prevalence of soil-transmitted helminths like Ascaris, and discuss the integrated control strategies currently employed. 7. Explain the specific mechanisms of action for 2 different classes of anthelmintic drugs used against nematodes, such as benzimidazoles and pyrantel pamoate. 8. Discuss the challenges in developing effective vaccines against nematode parasites, considering their complex biology and immune evasion strategies. 9. How do the specialized sensory organs, amphids and phasmids, contribute to the parasitic lifestyle and host finding in nematodes? And 10. Hypothesize on the potential long-term public health consequences in a community with chronic, untreated Ascaris and pinworm infections beyond immediate symptoms. Good luck with these advanced challenges. And that concludes our deep dive into the fascinating world of nematoda. From the basics of roundworms to their intricate biology, evolutionary adaptations, and public health impact, we've covered a vast landscape of knowledge. Remember, continuous learning is key to mastering biology. For more such engaging and in-depth educational content across various subjects and levels, visit us at synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Your support helps us create more valuable learning resources. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning. See you in the next session.